Every great leader has a story that is uniquely their own. And today, I have an absolute privilege to share the incredible journey of Mr. Anuj Puri, co-founder and chairman, Anarock India. Anuj, welcome to the show. Pleasure
Hi,
to have
Sumit.
you here.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Please, have a seat.
Thank you.
Anuj, I have known you over the last 5 to 6 years, and you were introduced to me as Amitabh Bachchan of the real estate industry. And now I can vouch for that statement. Now, today, what I really want to do is, I really want to dig a bit deeper and look at the person behind this success. So, can we rewind? Can we go back to the beginning? I think you went to Shri College of Commerce in Delhi. Give us a glimpse of your early days. What were the aspirations of 18-year-old Anuj?
Well, thank you very much, Sumit. One, it's absolutely a delight to be here. And, if I'm Amitabh Bachchan, you are Shah Rukh Khan.
Okay.
I mean, what Awfis has been able to deliver, and you certainly in the public markets, is phenomenal. So 3 cheers to you.
Thank
the
you.
way that you and Amit have been able to really put up this company is, a lot to learn for many of us, the way that you have been able to do it. So, it's a pleasure to be here and
Thank you.
really an honor to be chatting with you. I haven't really spoken much about my personal side, so it is interesting you asked that question. And that also takes me like 40 years ago, nearly when, I joined Shri College of Commerce. You used to study in school, and the aspiration at that time, Sumit, was that you want to be in Shri College of Commerce, and you thought that you would arrive in life. The rest of life is all sorted out once you get into Shri College of Commerce, and that also, if you were to come in the first list in the BCom honors, and now you reflect back on life and you feel those were so small little things. But at that time, that was like the biggest, 40 years ago. I think what I remember of Shri College days are probably 2 things that I would say is, Sumit, one, the festival that we used to have, which used to be called as Crossroads. It was like a fantastic festival. It was a 4-day event. Some 80,000 students would come up. So, that is what I remember. We used to be called a lot more nerdy, those guys in Shri College, but actually we were not in there. Second is, I remember, is ragging.
Okay.
At that time, ragging wasn't as strict, because, it was a sort of an in thing. It was sort of more innocent ragging. I remember being asked to sort of take off my trousers and the trunks, and then being worn my trousers and above that the trunks. And we had to go as freshers around the college and say, Phantom is here, Phantom is here.
Oh, wow.
Those are my recollections of my days in Shri College. Although it was brief because, whilst I was doing my graduation, then I went into doing CA.
Right.
And then sort of moved into CA, which was full-time, apprenticeship that I had to do. So I then moved out of college.
Wow. So academics had always been your forte, is what I, understand. And you did, CA, which is one of the most intense course in India. How come from, being a CA to, coming into real estate?
Actually, quite an interesting journey. So, from graduation, getting into CA, I completed my CA, and then I discovered this is not really my calling. And then I thought I want to go into insurance. And that is where I felt was my calling. Then I studied insurance for 3 years. We qualified as a chartered insurer from the UK. And then after qualification, Sumit, I discovered this wasn't my calling.
Okay.
I was like 26, 27. My parents were like quite aghast that, we've got a son, 26, 27. He's still not sure what in life is he going to do it. And certainly I was not in real estate by that time. I was a chartered accountant and then decided that wasn't the calling, and then insurance. And then after that, that wasn't the calling. And then I went into real estate, which my parents were even more disappointed that if I had to get into real estate, then why did I do CA and why did I do insurance? But so is the calling. Today, when you reflect back, you feel it is one of the best moves, one of the best choices in career. That
it is.
We both came into real estate.
And when you started real estate, what was it? Was commercial side of things, residential, or warehousing or retail?
At that time, Sumit, there wasn't much differentiation. It was just real estate. This is in mid-90s. The scale of the market wasn't as large. You would do resi, you would do retail, you would do commercial. My major specialization was really in the retail part of it and that is where I give a lot of credit to Kishore Biani because I learned a lot from him on the retailing part. But the market was very lackluster. It was a market, Sumit, that you would shake hands with the developer and then count 4 fingers left. Take like the fifth finger. This is the mid 90s. So very investor-led market, very speculator, very fragmented, and it had stakeholders, it had players that you would sort of struggle to bring them home. So that is the kind of market what it was when we had entered real estate.
Any marquee transaction or your first transaction, any transaction you remember about or you think was very memorable for you?
Lots of them, Sumit. Actually every transaction is a marquee transaction, and Sumit, just like for you, every tenant is a marquee tenant. Every property that you take is a marquee property. So every transaction has an episode. Every transaction has a story. Every transaction has sort of 9 lives that it would have gone through before it got culminated. If you'd ask me, I would say is really my first transaction that I did for British Airways. It was their call center. This is, as I said, in the mid 90s. It was in Bombay, in Vikhroli. It was a disused animal fodder godown.
Oh, wow.
Which we converted into a call center in Vikhroli, and that's how British Airways really entered in the call center space in India. And the reason that they took Sumit at that time was that the British Airways flight had to go over Vikhroli, and this was like a tin shed, and you could paint British Airways, so all the passengers sitting in the aircraft could look down and see British Airways written on the tin shed. And that was the first transaction that sort of launched us into the commercial real estate part of it.
This sounds very cool. I think who would have the foresight to go into Vikhroli and that to animal shed and that too for a MNC like British Airways.
That's right. Yeah. I give a lot of credit to them as well to be able to have that foresight.
And during your journey, you would have worked with multiple, a lot of mentors, a lot of business leaders. Any business advice which kept along with you and you liked about that business advice?
I think an interesting question, Sumit. I would say in different journeys of my life, there were different mentors, different people that I really looked up to. At home, certainly my dad, which I think for a lot of people of our generation, it is the dad. And he would say is Anuj, never trust a person who doesn't laugh, who doesn't like music, who doesn't enjoy his drink. And he used to have drink every night, and he loved it. And who goes from his office clothes to his night suit, and from his night suit to his office clothes. Never trust a guy like that, because that meant is that he has no friends. And I think on the work side, I used to work in the UK and had a boss there, Colin Farley, and he had told me in my initial days of working with him, Sumit, never leave a meeting room confused.
That's very deep.
Very deep, and I felt is that that I until date, I want to bring out a result in that meeting room, whether I've understood this correctly and whether the other person has understood what the deliverables are. In my college days, there was a mentor that I had, and he said a very good advice, and again, I've caught on to that advice is, so what he said is that, Anuj, if you don't have time today to look after your physical health, then I dare say when you're going to get into full-time working, that you'll ever be able to do it. And since that time, I've just been very particular about physical health. So, different phases of life, you have different mentors coming up.
True. And Anuj, if we look at the real estate has evolved significantly. I used to stay in Hyderabad for my first job in 2004. At that point of time, Begumpet was the key micro market. So everything moved to high tech, right? And the same evolution we have seen across cities like Mumbai, Nariman Point to BKC, Connaught Place to Gurgaon in NCR, and look at the skyline of Mumbai. It's a big testament of the change. You have contributed significantly to this. So I want to understand, how do you look at commercial real estate in early 2000, the first decade of 2000, and second, and now? How you seen the various kind of interesting challenges, evolution around over the last 3 decades?
I think commercial, Sumit, has matured much better than the residential, and commercial matured much earlier as well. And I think the point that you say 2000 is perhaps the right point. This is when the .com bust had happened. This is when people had started to discover India, and they were coming into India largely for cost arbitrage. And that is where you were seeing multinationals starting to come in, Europeans, Americans, and they sort of came in really after the global financial crisis, 2008. And thereafter, we had a bit of a lull. So the market had started to mature on the commercial side till 2008. But really, the burst that has come in is post 2009, leading up to sort of before COVID, or maybe 2017, 2018. That is where we've got not only on the occupier side of the commercial, but also on the developer. You had more maturity, you had consolidation, you had private equity starting to play on the commercial. You had better quality assets that were being built on the commercial side. And that's the evolution that I saw really from 2009 to 17, which to me was like one of the best eras in terms of the consolidation, maturity, and the typology of the asset that got built in. I think what has been pleasantly a surprise is, I would say, post 2018, when the multinationals discovered that it's not only cost arbitrage that we are coming into India, it's the talent. It's the quality of the talent. That quality of talent, very difficult to find in more mature countries. In the numbers that you want today, if you need 500 techies, in a month, 2 months, you should be able to get in 500, 700, 1,000 techies in India. In the US, you'll struggle even for the price that you want to give it. And that's what to me is exciting with the GCCs that are coming in, particularly post the COVID. They're coming in for the talent. That really means, Sumit, that the commercial real estate demand is here to stay. Cost arbitrage could have been somebody else comes and disrupts. For example, in the early 2000s, it used to be the call centers, and then call centers disappeared. Then, it moved into the BPO. Then it has moved into the KPO. Then it has moved into software development. Now it is more R&D. That to my mind is where you're going to find that more and more corporates, international corporates, wanting to come into India for the talent, and the best designs, the best thought leadership is really going to come in from here, which is going to be very difficult for any other nation to be able to disrupt. On the resi side, Sumit, we're a little bit far off as yet. I would say resi is probably 7 to 8 or 10 years behind where office maturity is. So in 24, 25, where we are, where offices were in 2014, 15, I think that is where we are in the resi evolution. But I must say given the way that the government has brought in the regulations, given the way the consumerism that has come in I do feel that it'll catch up pretty fast. Yeah.
I was personally expecting that post-RERA, there would be more private equity interest in resi sector, but it has still not panned out so far.
It is true. It is a tough one, Sumit, even globally. So not only in India, even globally, private equity struggles to invest in resi for sale.
Yeah,
they are massive, even bigger than offices on the resi for lease.
Right.
And they call it as multifamily homes. But resi for sale is a tough one. Even in mature markets, you won't find many private equity players wanting to play in this. They like to build, or they like to buy and hold, not buy and sell.
And we don't have resi for lease concept in India right now.
Unfortunately, we haven't yet. Although I must say that in the budget of February 2024, or whenever the budget had happened, at that time, the Honorable Finance Minister has brought in a thought of rental housing for factory workers.
Oh, yeah.
It hasn't scaled up to that extent. But I do feel is that the seed has been sown. And at some stage, this concept is going to come in. The Honorable Prime Minister is saying is that housing for all. Housing for all doesn't necessarily mean that housing for all for buying. It also means it is for rental. So as the yields start to stack up, as they move up to sort of 5, 6, 7%, you will start to see is private equity playing in the resi. Currently, the yields are between 2.5% to 3%. So it doesn't make any sense for the private equity to play.
I think one of the sector where resi for lease is silently working is student housing.
Actually, you're right.
Probably this could be the sector which could bring resi for lease a bit more into forefront.
Absolutely correct. You're buying on that is student housing in a much larger scale and perhaps co-living in a smaller scale. Both of them are attempting to get into resi for lease, but the full scale of it, hopefully we will, which we call it as multifamily homes, we will see if there is some tweaking of the regulation.
And how do you see the evolution of retail? Malls we've seen, coming up. Then they are, the whole evolution is coming up well. High street retail. How have you seen the evolution of high street retail?
So Sumit, I was a little scared when the e-commerce came in.
Right.
I thought that e-commerce was going to big time disrupt physical retail, and fortunately it hasn't, because where the retailers have gone in is a hybrid. Where they have gone is doing both physical and online. The physical retailers have gone in addition to physical retail online, and the online retailers are now coming into physical space. This new concept that has come up called as Broadway, which is an Ambience Mall in Gurgaon, that is bringing in all the D2C brands, direct to customer brands, into physical space. And what a phenomenal concept that has happened, because all these online guys are saying, we need physical. We need Sumit to see us physically. And the physical guys are saying is, we need Sumit to see us online as well. So it's a hybrid. In that process, what we are finding is that both the high street and grade A malls are doing very well. High street, certainly, far superior today, far better than where the malls are stacked. But malls, if you were to peel the onion, Sumit, grade A mall, less than 5% vacancy across India. Because it is grade A, B and C put together, it comes to about 15% vacancy. But that large vacancy, about 30-35%, is actually in grade C malls. If you were to dissect it and only take grade A mall, less than 5% vacancy. So grade A malls and high street really doing exceptionally well today.
Any RE trend, if you reflect over the last couple of years or last couple of decades, you look at that I have missed it out, I never saw it coming. Any trend you?
Certainly, Sumit. On the office side, I didn't think this decentralization would come in. I always thought before COVID, Sumit, all the corporates were giving mandates, which were like, we want to consolidate, we want to come together, we want to do a sort of 1 million square feet, one campus in their ways. Post-COVID, it has all gone decentralized. And, saying is that we want to be close to the place of, the guy who lives in, the employee who lives in. So a very decentralized approach.
Right.
I had not expected I had not expected co-working to do so beautiful. Had I known, I would have, invested in Awfis at that time itself, although you wouldn't have taken money, you're very well capitalized. But I had not expected the co-working to do so well. I had not expected tier 2 cities to pick up, the way that they have picked up today on the office side. On the resi side, I think 2 trends. One, I had not expected luxury. Oh, it's crazy. At this moment in time, you were to look at it, apartments valued at $1, $2, $3, $4 million, selling like hot potatoes at this moment in time. And a lot of that money is where people have been able to make that money on the stock market, whether through the listing or just on sort of speculation in the stock market. And that money is coming into the real estate on the luxury space. And the second is millennials buying. I always thought as Sumit that they will continue to rent. I didn't realize that some mind shift would have happened post-COVID. And whether it is the peer pressure, whether it's pressure of their parents, whether it's pressure of their sort of boyfriend or girlfriend or wives or husbands, they're now wanting to buy. So in their late 20s, early 30s, they are not wanting to rent today. They're saying is, let me first go out and buy a house.
Got it. And coming to the office side, you personally like working from home or working from office? What?
I think I'm sort of traditional in that way. Sumit is so I would say is a little bit hybrid. I would pre-COVID come sort of 6 days to work. In there is I don't now. I'll come 5 days physically to the office, and Saturday is usually online. I do still feel is that physically coming in is more productive, at least for me. It can be a very controversial answer, so I just want to make sure that I caveat it. That at least for me, I find it. I find collaboration, ideas, gossip, meeting near the cafeteria, meeting up with your clients in person. A lot more tangible, lot more productive, lot more easier, smoother than trying to build that relationship, virtually.
I'm also more of a work from office person, by the way. So, Anuj, just to understand a bit more deeper into Anarock, one thing on the face of it, it looks like a very straightforward advisory services firm. But when I go deeper into understanding, I think tech was the original starting point. I see you doing a lot of different things with Anna City initiative, with the strategic partnership with Upflex, the acquisition of MyHQ. So what's the whole thought behind around on the future of Anarock and the overall the tech play within Anarock?
So Sumit, real estate is one of perhaps the large sectors of the economy which hasn't been really touched meaningfully through tech. And I do feel is that the sector is right to be interplayed with tech. Would we ever become tech first? Unlikely. Would we be able to sell, say, homes through pure technology? Unlikely. But can we bring in more efficiency? Can we bring in more productivity? Can we make our agents, who sell 1.8 homes a month, can we make it to 2? Can we make it to 2.2? That is where I'm investing in technology within Anarock to bring in more productivity, to bring in more customer delight, to be able to bring in more governance, to be able to bring in more efficiency. That is where it is. So sometimes people misunderstand that it is a tech first, and I'm not wanting ever. I'm saying is this is tech enabled, but that tech enablement is bringing in more efficiency and hence improving the margins. And I do feel is that with AI now coming in, and we're now with some, 150, 160 guys now working on AI, full-time employees of Anarock, on seeing is that how can we judge the first ring of the customer when it comes in to say whether he's a likely buyer or not a buyer of that is. And that to me is where you're going to start to see is AI interplaying and bringing in even more efficiency. And through that, we have continued to invest in, the companies that you said is Anna City. It's scaled up beautifully now. We're out in the market to do a fundraise, which will also show us, what we've been able to create. We did with MyHQ, which was the aggregator of the co-working, spaces. And these all are starting to make meaningful difference within sort of our balance sheet and also within the overall community of the various products that they are involved in.
Got it. Do you expect AI agents to start selling homes in the next 5-10 years?
So, what they will do is, Sumit, they will discover the prospective buyer. They'll be very good in discovering, that is. But actual closing will still be a physical person. When Sumit has to buy his house, he will browse over through the online. He'll do a VR, virtual reality. He will shortlist 4 or 5 through the online mechanism. So that is where, that discovery will happen, is shortlisting will happen. But the physical, Sumit, unlikely that Sumit will say is, okay, I'm just going to buy it online. Is, it is once or twice in a lifetime that one is going to buy their home. Is that much time they're going to be able to find out to say is, I do want to invest. And being able to go out and see the house that I'm going to buy, the family is wanting to will want to come in, and they would want to have the joy of selecting, their house physically. So I dare say that you're going to see, it may happen. I'm not saying is that it'll be zero, but it'll be a very small percentage that you will see is ultimately wanting to buy online. Largely, it'll still remain a very offline, yet discovery is what is going to be largely online.
I think, Anuj, no podcast is complete without a rapid fire round.
Oh my God, you're going to put me on the spot.
To think on your feet, okay. And let us get started. So my first question to you is, if you had to bet on one emerging real estate brand in India, which one would that be?
It'll be wrong for me to say anything other than Anarock. So I would say Anarock, I would say Awfis.
I was really hoping you answer that. So this was a plug in the podcast. And what would you think of the most underrated and the overrated residential micro market in India?
I would say is Worli for both underrated and overrated.
Oh, wow.
And the reason that I say is, it is a fantastic, location. The way hospitality, retail, residential offices have come up in that micro market, and the way the connectivity with the Worli sea link, either going to Nariman Point or going to Bandra, has come up. Overrated because the prices are on a per square foot for the residential are in excess of 100,000 rupees in their race. Yet underrated that I do feel is that it is still has the ability to go beyond that number. So I would say is my pick would be Worli.
Perfect. And most undervalued and overvalued commercial real estate in India?
I would say is SBD ORR, Bangalore. Outer Ring Road, Bangalore.
That would be the most
underrated, undervalued and overvalued, both I would say. I mean, every corporate wants to go in there, Sumit. Yeah. And you look at majority of the developers in Bangalore, they have beautiful, campuses there, beautiful IT parks in there. Yet, it is such a traffic jam in that area. So that's why, sort of undervalued, underrated, and overvalued, overrated.
Perfect. At 30, would you prefer renting a home or buying a home?
I think it's today, post-COVID, buying a home. I think pre-COVID, it was more like romance at 30. Romance at 30 means you lease. Buying a home means you are getting married in there. So I would say is post-COVID, Sumit, I have seen is majority of the people post-30 are wanting to buy. Pre-COVID, it used to be rental.
Right. And at 30, would you prefer a 70-hour work week or a work-life balance?
Oh my God, this is a hugely controversial question. I know that there will be a lot of people who will say, "Why do you say that?" But I would say still 70 hours.
70-hour work week.
I think, Sumit, if you have to create something, and India is at that position today. It has huge opportunities. What we are seeing today is like phenomenal. It looks like even 70 hours is less. If you really want to build something on that, obviously, there has to be work-life balance. You have to make sure you're investing with the family, you're investing in your health, you're having some good time with the friends. But equally, I would say is the opportunity is phenomenal. Certainly for this generation who's in the work group today, for them to be able to really make something out of themselves, given the opportunity, I would say is, I would certainly prefer working 70 hours a week.
Right. And is there any superstition you follow before making any big business decision?
Superstition. I think I've one superstition, Sumit, is that if it's an important meeting, if it's a meeting that requires a decision, and I'm entering that meeting room, I try and enter with my right foot first. So that is the superstition that I carry, is that I found is more often than not, those decisions then go right.
That's interesting. And which current startup business model you wish you would have started?
I would say Awfis again. But I would also say is Zero Dha. A fantastic what Nikhil Kamath has been able to do it. Nobody discovered it. It had been going on. That business has been on for generations, for decades. Yet nobody had thought such a simple business model to be able to bring that in, and the amount of profit margins that business model really drives, and the ability to scale it up is very high. So I would certainly say Zero the top.
Thank you, Anuj, for being very candid and forthcoming with your views. It's always a pleasure talking to you, and your journey has inspired a lot of us, and I'm sure our audience will feel the same.
Thank you very much, Sumit, and good luck to you, and good luck to Awfis. The way you have been able to scale this business up, and the way that you are charting the path, being very unique in this and being the first one is always difficult. So all the very best to you as well.
Thank you. That's a wrap of today's episode of The Corner Office. Stay tuned in for more episodes featuring who's who of corporate India. I'm your host, Sumit Lakhani. Thank you for watching.